Hey, thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm GhostPrime. I'll take a look at the ultimate Optimus Prime from Takara Tomy in this review. This thing is actually pretty awesome. It kind of harkens back to those days when you had chunky bots with gimmicks, and they were just clicky and awesome. And it doesn't. The price isn't even that bad. Something like this is 11.2 inches, and today I would expect it to be, well into $80. We get the commander classes for like $80, $90. This thing retails for about $60, and honestly, just to tell you now, it's pretty good. I'll tell you why in the review. Anyway, so sit back, relax, hit the thumbs up button, ring the bell for notifications. If you're not subscribed, please do. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think of this guy. Without any further ado, let's get to the review. And here we have the box. Now, unfortunately, I lost the footage with him actually in it. I did this whole thing beforehand, so I'm redoing this, but I actually had the figure before I opened it. But what's really cool about this box is it has a beautiful window and it has a plastic insert on the inside, something we don't get anymore, at least in the US. So it is nice to see it on this one. It's just another thing that harkens back to an older time, a few years ago. Anyway, on the first front of the box, you have Primal right there in his beast mode. Looks like that might be the logo for Rise of the Beasts. I can't read Japanese, but you have a whole bunch of just features and stuff on the front. You have the Takara Tomy logo, picture of beast mode. On the one side here, you have the robot mode of Primal. On the other side, you have beast mode. On the top, there he is right there with the American Rise of the Beasts logo. And the back, bot mode, beast mode. Now, I don't have any of these little guys, but you can attach them all over to the ports around them, which is kind of cool. There's a parts list showing the firing the missiles, the arm guns, the two faces. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. The box is huge, too. All right, and once he's out of the package, you get all of this here. You have two missiles, two swords with very day glow orange paint on them, and they're actually able to be connected together, sort of a way like that. And you get a set of instructions and a catalog. The instructions are all in Japanese because this is the Japanese version. And depending on the retailer, I think you also got a little figure that attaches to them. But actually, I didn't get that with this one because I got this from Hasbro Pulse. But they attach it to here. It's little weaponizer guys, the ones that turn into weapons, and they attach to these different ports on the figure. But let's take a quick look, close-up look at this figure, particularly the head sculpt. It's a nice head sculpt, nice paintwork on it, green eyes. You got some more of the paintwork on the chest here, the logo there, the Maximal logo, and some silver highlights. Silver highlights on the shoulders. Over here, fingers, hands. Lots of detail on it. Turn around. Lots of nice detail. Now, if you notice, there are, just like Optimus Primals lately, there are these little grooves there. And these have the slots, so you could actually just slot these in just like so. Let's put that in there. And he will hold both of them. So a couple gimmicks he does have, which is great that we actually have gimmicks on this thing, is you have him look up, pull his head all the way up, turn it around, back down, and you get Primal with his lips. It's more of a classic Primal. Very cool. I'm glad they included that. Really, really cool. Also, his arm. So this was kind of cool. I didn't expect this. I did expect there to be a button on the bottom that you just push up and it would push this up. But it actually it has a spring in it, spring loaded, and just pops this up, and this is spring loaded as well. You can see how that goes back in, and it is blast effect compatible. So let me get a blast effect real quick. There we go. That on there. It holds on, but not super well. It kind of falls off real easy, but maybe one of the smaller pieces holds on a little better. But it's cool that it has blast effect compatibility, even though it doesn't come with them, as most figures do not these days. But I thought that was a really cool little touch. Kind of nice. So another gimmick he has is you have to do a little bit of the transformation with this. But if you open this up like this, you take these shoulder pieces and move those up. You can see in here, your fingers in there, there are shoulder mounted guns. Pull that out. Go. Attach all that together. So he has shoulder mounted guns and these missiles, which are the friction style mixed missiles, as you can see right there, pop in there, and then you kind of fire. Depends on, there's not a lot of room to get your finger back here to fire it. But they go like that. And these cannot fit on the inside, so you have to have it out like that. And I wish they were in a different color, honestly, because it looks like tar or maybe more of his fur that he's shooting out. He's shooting out wet fur balls. You know, that seems kind of gross. But he does have two of them. And I'm going to go like that. And just don't fire super far. But it's cool that you could do it. It is something that's neat. I'm glad they brought that back for this. It really gives it more of a leader classy feel. And for the price point, pretty good. He does hold his swords, but this is a point that I'd like to make, is that they're not super duper tight in there. He doesn't hold them like really tight. You can move the fingers. I'll get to that articulation. So he does grasp a little tighter, but that is one of the things that I wish they did. But again, with these, they just show in the box. Can't hold them together like that, and which makes sense and looks really good. For comparison, here he is with the most recent Voyager class one. You see there's a ton of differences in between even just the design. It's almost like they didn't finalize the design before they made these, because there's a lot of differences. Like these have the pointier shoulders, where these are more rounded. You know, I mean, even the mechanical bits are slightly different in between the two. So that's kind of a weird thing. Why they did that? By the side, he does have a bit of a backpack, but it's not too egregious. It just has this back flap. Just kind of get a good idea of size. He is a big guy. Here he is next to Recent Deluxe. So you see, he is pretty huge. Okay, it's articulation time. So his head, I think it's on a ball joint. You can move up that far, and you can look up pretty far. Not really down. You could look, can't really get it all the way around, just basically do this collar here. But he's got a pretty good range of emotion with his head there. His arms can do 360 at the shoulders. They can only go up about that far out, which is not the full, but it's okay. It's enough. He does have, you'd like to say a bicep sole, but it's not at the bicep, it's at the elbow. And his elbow does do over 90. His wrist does not, well, I can do 90 degrees. Right there, and a little bit back and forth. His fingers, 3 of these fingers are on a pin, and this is one finger. I don't think it's a pin. I think it's frictioned in there. Maybe they're all frictioned, actually. Sorry, I take that back. It's hard to tell from here, unless the pins are black, which I'm only noticing that on camera, which looks kind of cool. Thumb, though, is solid. Can't move his thumb, but that's okay. It's enough articulation there. He does have a bit of a butterfly. So you can see it there, a bit of a butterfly on the shoulder as well. He does have waist articulation, 360 degrees, and this was a nice surprise. Nice and clicky. Knees too. So he can go about this far up, that far back. He goes about that far out. Again, over 90. His feet do have a bit of a rocker on it. Forward, backward, and a rocker. Ankle tilt. So that's kind of cool. He's got a lot of good articulation, and the joints feel nice. They feel tight. He'll hold a pose, so I think it's good. Oh, he does have right there 360 at the thigh, so you can get some good articulation out of this guy. Overall, very happy with the articulation and the way the joints look on it. It's just really cool, nice and chunky feeling. It's tight, solid, and chunky feeling. Just awesome. Getting into transformation on him. Transformation is kind of what you'd expect. It's kind of what we had before, similar to what we've had before. First things first, you want to turn the waist all the way around. That allows for more clearance back here to open this up all the way. And then what we're going to want to do is open the chest up. Also, chest opens up, spins around. We're going to leave that open for just right now. And you see this mechanism in here. So I'm going to put the missiles back in. They're on this sort of like double hinge. So you got to make sure they're just go like that. You see a hinge there, joint there, and a joint there. Then this piece, like the other ones, move up. Head out of the way, move up, spin around. And then this is where it gets a little not complicated, but a little different, where you push that up like that to get the head out of the way and clear this hole here. Then push that back down. Oh, push the shoulders down too. Let's see if I get those down. There we go. Shoulders down. Cover those pieces. Then go ahead and put that together. And we're actually almost there. So then we take the legs, move them like this, like the previous versions. Like that. Take these feet, unhook them, just move them up in the back. And I wish there was a different place to put these. They don't look terrible, but I really do wish there was a different place to put these. Like on the Voyager, it folds into the shin here, which is a cool feature. This doesn't do that. I think it could benefit from that. Minor nitpick though. And go ahead and untab this. There's a tab and a slot right there. Turn it around and just sort of lay it over the back. Kind of get those legs up in there. Like this. Arms, put out. Make sure the shoulder armor piece bits stay there. And kind of move, kind of like a gorilla shape. And there he is. And his gorilla mode. And he is a chunky monkey. He is a big chunky monkey. In gorilla mode, his articulation is move up a little bit on the head, move, kind of inquisitively. His jaw does not move, and he can't really turn his head super well, like a little bit. If you kind of do like that, you kind of get him to turn it. It kind of breaks it a little bit, but it doesn't go super well. But it sort of has this nice flow into the back. But I do like what they've done with the arms to make them a little more ape-like. You put them up a little bit more like this. They put these like this, a little more forward. So you kind of get a nice stance on them. The one thing you can't really do is stand him up, because if he stands up, and it is showing the package that you can stand him up, but the problem is his head won't go down in there. Like, you can't get him to look straight by standing him up. He's always going to look kind of up. Not that I was going to display him like that anyway, but I think that would be better because they actually have it in the movie like that, and I think that would have been something that they could have had him do, and I really was expecting it. So I wasn't expecting to have that limited of articulation on the head. Arms are all the same as far as articulation is concerned. For comparison, here he is with the mainline version. So he is much, much larger. I mean, also blue eyes versus green eyes. I don't remember the movie. I think they were green in the movie. Why this isn't in focus. But you can see the head sculpts being a little bit different there. The back detailing, which is really nice on this one, isn't quite as there on this, but it's got a real nice robotic look. It's got some similarities. Same with the way it transforms. This is what I mean about the back of the legs. Also, the coloring is vastly different. This is more black, or this is gray. But, I mean, the size difference, right? The size difference is crazy. One other thing I did actually forget to mention about articulation. The toes, for some reason, are articulated on this. You don't really need to put them in any other position besides flat, but you can if you want to. It's there. So get a little close up here on the head. I wish it had jaw articulation. Does not, but I love the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt is on point. Really nicely done. There's the 8-mode chest right there. Got some paint here, painted here, logo, back details. I wish there's some more paint on the back. Otherwise, it's all pretty much the same. It's in robot mode. But yeah, I think he looks pretty good. So all in all, there's a lot of positives with this guy. He's really chunky. I love the clickiness of his legs. And he feels like you could throw him across the room and it would still be fine. Don't do it. But I really like him. He just reminds me of Transformers of yesteryear. He has a couple gimmicks. You know, he has the chunk. He feels like a leader class. Even the price point feels right, especially for a Japanese product. He's pretty cheap. So overall, I think there's so many pluses. Sure, there's some negatives. Like I wish the gorilla mode had a more articulated head. He can't really stand up super well. No articulated jaw. You know, that type of stuff. I wish these stayed in a little better, but it's not that bad. I actually really dig this, and it's a super recommend for me if you like Optimus Primal. He's just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. Just really good figure. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Totally appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.